All right, what's going on, everybody? I pray that everybody's doing well and having a blessed day. As we off top give Most High Yahoo all the honor, the glory, and all praise and worship. This is a different type of video, and I want to respond back to you, Bad Man of Music 33. Like I said, this is a different type of video coming from a musician standpoint, and just from being in the game, for a while, man, the music game. You see my title, Michael Jackson versus Sony Music. He exposed him. Um, I love your email because you asked me, do I believe his death was really an accident or did they have Mike set up and killed? And y'all, if you look at my old videos, you already know, like I tell you, man, it's the most ruthless, dirtiest. The music industry, man, is the most wickedest, man. When you get off into it, you really don't know what you're getting off into it until you get off into it. Somebody will catch that later. But just from a musician standpoint, and I know how they set up these insurance policies on a lot of these artists. Whether you're talking about rap, R&B, hip hop, I mean, it don't even matter. It all kind of runs the same way. And what you see when you see, especially, uh, I'm gonna use the term black man in this video because I don't really like to use the term black. But when you see a black man try to own their own masters, just like I said about Ray Charles years ago, or some of these rap artists, hip hop artists who once they start owning their own masters, you always see death come behind it. Now, you remember back when Michael did that, uh, where was he at? I believe he was in London, right? And he exposed Sony. And MJ went against Sony. If you caught that video, the one you know I'm talking about, when he was in London, I think it's still on YouTube. Um, when he came out to do the speech, and the crowd, when he said Sony Records, they started booing Sony, because Mike was exposing how pretty much he named artists like, Samuel Davis Jr., James Brown. He named a few artists. And he was talking about how artists work hard, but how the record label rips them off. It takes advantage of them. And Mike made billions, for Sony. He said that, and he was smart when you think about it. He outsmarted them, and Mike had what, maybe one more. I'm gonna say one more album to give them, if I'm not mistaken. And they only looked at Michael because, well, he liked to dance and got his mind on music. Like Mike said in that video, I remember it just like it was yesterday. And he said, "Oh yeah, my mind is usually on dancing and music." But he said, "But they never thought this artist would outthink them." And once Mike became a free agency, yes, Sony was pissed off. But I believe he owed them one more album, which wasn't about nothing, something he created years ago, if I remember him saying. But when he became a free agent, ooh wee, man, Mike said he would write 120 songs every album. So you can imagine the money that he made for Sony. And then when he left, ooh wee. And then notice what he said. What's that dude name? The one Mariah Carey used to be married to, Tommy Mulatto, or Tommy Matalo, or something like that. Or however you pronounce his last name. Mike called that man a devil because Mariah Carey, like he said, Mariah Carey came to him crying. They had got divorced, of course, but he called that man a devil. And he said Mariah was saying, on and on how crazy that man was and the threats that he was making. And Tommy, he was the CEO of Sony, but Mike exposed them. Now I'm gonna say something else here. Prince. Let me move that thing out the way. I don't know what. Make sure the clock's still going. Prince. He exposed so much. He was on one talk show when he was talking about how they ripped the artist is off. And look at what Prince started doing. Same thing. When you see the same thing, and then next thing you know, they die, or the death never makes sense. They was murdered. Now I don't believe. It's hard to say, but I believe that man was paid to kill Mike, take Mike out. Because let me tell you something, when you on that high level making that much money, they can pay somebody to wipe you out and make it look like an accident, just like they do with a lot of these rappers. You notice more and more of these rappers are coming up murdered. Some of this stuff is actually murder, but then you got to realize some of this stuff, what these record labels doing, insurance policies. They gonna get their money one way or the other. And when you threaten to leave, they label, all hell break loose. Because one thing for sure is they never want you to own your own masters. They don't want you to make more money than them. So you got to realize what time it is out here. Mike death never made sense to me. But just like Tupac death never made sense to me. Biggie death never made sense to me. A lot of deaths, Whitney's death never made sense to me. A lot of these deaths that you see, it never makes a lot of sense. And you never hear the end of the story. You never hear the truth on it. And you probably never will. But I know they start exposing. Just like when they Illuminati, what would Tupac what did Tupac come out with? Illuminati. He wasn't really simply saying murder the Illuminati. He was saying kill the hype, kill the noise. That's what he said once he explained it. It wasn't about killing them, but look at what happened. When I did an old video call, when they all start trying to get out, when they all cry for help, it's too late. Oh, no doubt, Mike was a bad boy. But see, some of y'all gonna get mad. All of y'all Michael Jackson fans gonna get mad at me when I say this. But see, it just goes to show you, it don't matter how much money. You can make trillions and trillions. You can make billions and billions, and you're gonna die. You're gonna leave here. And the question is, what if they soul end up at? Ain't no amount of money you can pay your way into heaven. And if you sell your soul, if you sell out, you already know what the outcome of that is. Don't matter how much money you make. Look at Prince. Man, look at how much money they made, but look at how much the people that was over them made off of them. And then they die. What happened? I don't know. Natural causes, or I don't know. Brother dropped dead. Brother had a heart attack. But you don't ever hear the end of these stories. But one thing for sure, as my title say, Mike, he exposed Sony. He exposed Tommy. Once he started talking about it owning, y'all already know what time it is. Just like when Ray wanted to own his own masters. Man, let me tell you something. Like I said in my old video, when you own your own masters, you cutting out the middleman. You cutting out the record label. You cutting out so many people because now it's all on you. There are a lot of more people starting to wake up and wanting to own their own masters. Just watch what happens. Watch what JT tell you. Watch real closely what happens. And on that note, I love y'all. Y'all take care. It's always an honor, man, to come on here. This is a different type of video. This is not a biblical where there's so many words. It what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose it? So I don't know who went where, but I know that time is winding down, and we all better get right. We better get right. They will say if you stay ready, you ain't got to worry about getting ready. And on that note, y'all have a wonderful, 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 blessed day. Shalom. Love y'all.